This student had a phenomenal result, 11s and 12s, and in writing, this student scored 11. Now, this video is about writing. A lot of people are struggling there, and I want to show you why. Because when I show something like this to our students, this is a sample answer from one of these students. They say that this is going to score a 12 or 11, and it's not. And that's where a lot of you are having this misconception that something like this can score high, which is also leading a lot of you to write exactly like this, but please don't. So I'll show you how this can score 11 or 12. Right now though, this is just gonna score 8, maybe even lesser. Let's understand why. Now you can pause the video and read it for yourself and check out or explain to yourself your own opinions. Then you'll hear my opinions and we'll see where you and I differ. If you have the same opinions as I do, you will score a very good mark. Now, let's get started. The question was about a gym or a restaurant. This is task 2. Those were the two options given, and the person selected the gym. Now, the intro and conclusion, I have removed it. It was good. The intro mentioned opinion, conclusion rephrased it. The body paragraphs are what I copied from the student because that's where all the mistakes are. Now, there were a lot of grammar mistakes too. I have removed them because you can also do that on your own. You can use a tool like Grammarly. It's not 100% accurate, so you can also send us your writings. We'll give you free feedback. If you want to learn how, comment down below, CELPIP writing. I'll tell you how you can send us your work for free feedback. So this student started by talking about the gym and the benefits. Let's have a look and see what went wrong. Building a gym in the office can make employees happier and more productive, as exercise helps reduce stress, clear the mind, boost energy levels, get rid of any mental blocks, improve the immune system, etc. There is a major problem here, guys. The major problem here is this student has made a list, a whole list of the benefits instead of explaining any benefit in detail. CELPIP hates it when you just make a list because it's convenient. You do not explore your own reasoning why this advantage is better. What is the theory behind it? What is the cause and effect? Without explanations, if you just put a list of things, you will lose marks. Because obviously what it looks like to me and what it will look like to the examiner is you are filling in the words and just saving time. Instead of all of this quantity, you should explain one or two things with quality. Explain the reasoning behind it, which we'll do in a second. But before we do that, there's another problem, and that is the sentence itself was so long. This sentence talks about building a gym can make employees happier and more productive. Okay, this is one clause, and then you're adding another clause, which is usually okay. I mean, you should have complex sentences, but this is a very long clause. All over, it becomes a very long sentence without proper separation. The third issue with this sentence is there's no topic sentence. So you need a topic sentence, especially when you start your body paragraphs, that show where you stand, and later you can do explanation. This is the right structure. You explain the topic sentence, then you expand on it later. So a topic sentence would have ended right there. Building a gym in the office can make employees happier and more productive, full stop. Now we can start another sentence by saying, this works well as exercise helps do whatever, okay? And that would be your separate sentence. Now, feel free to make this sentence complex. You can make this long, and I'll show you how. But don't make the first sentence too long. This is where you mention the main idea of the paragraph. You don't jump into explanations here. So this works well, or this is due to. In this case, I'll put this one because there's as exercise, so I'm going to elaborate on that. This works well as exercise aids in. Now, I'm not using the word help because helps is a basic word, so every time you can try to make it fancy, please do so. Aids in reducing all the mental blocks as it is proven to eliminate. I was going to say reduce, but you want to look at fancy words. Always think about the fancy ones. It is proven to eliminate stress levels. Let's do this. Stress to almost negligible levels. Okay, I want to use the word negligible. The more adjectives you use, the better, and the more you can describe it, the better. and you want to use advanced words. Now let me look at the sentence again, just to make sure it's free of grammar mistakes. This works well as exercise. I'm going to say exercises because I want to keep it overall, like it's not just one exercise. Exercises aid in reducing all the mental blocks, as it is proven to eliminate stress to almost negligible levels. Perfect. Now here you have as. Now this as, what this does is it links this clause with this clause. It is two separate clauses. It's a complex sentence, and this is perfect in this part because now you're jumping to the explanations. You're done with the topic sentence. Note also how we just talked about one thing. This whole sentence is talking about one thing, and that is stress. Now it's obvious exercise removes stress, but in the CELPIP exam, you have to explain it to the examiner. So we have explained, well, because it removes the stress to almost negligible levels, reducing the mental blocks. That's how exercise helps us. We're using advanced wordings as well, and this is quality over quantity. We're not using a bunch of things, we're using one and explaining it. So now I have a little structure. I have a topic sentence and one point that I have explained. Fine. Let's keep it there. Let's look at what the student had said. A gym in the office shows. Now there's no connector. That's a major problem. Let's use moreover. Okay, moreover, a gym in the office shows that the company cares. Look at the sentence. It's so simple. It's small. And this is okay if this sentence was not small. So there you have two small sentences, and then you have a conclusion. And conclusion is bigger than your small sentences, and explanations should always be bigger than the conclusions. So that's a problem, construction problem. This word to conclude should not be here. You could say consequently. We'll look at that sentence in a second, but to conclude or overall is okay, but like to conclude or in conclusion in a body paragraph should not exist because they are words you use in the last paragraph, not in the bodies. Bodies usually are lighter words, like therefore, hence, consequently, thereby, because they can conclude the body, but to conclude is the overall conclusion. It's a much bigger word. Okay, now let's go back to this sentence. A gym in the office shows that the company cares. Okay, let's look at the next one. This can reduce sick days and healthcare costs. Let's combine these two sentences, all right? Let's do that. Leading to, let's put that word here. Leading to a reduction in sick days and healthcare costs. So what we have done again is made the sentence complex. We have used a connector here as well. There is a good explanation. The student had a good explanation, but they just made the sentences too small. You can't have small sentences like the first one we had right here. Small, simple sentence mixed up with a complex sentence next. A complex and a small sentence mixture is needed throughout your entire writing, but not just all simple and not just all complex sentences, especially the explanation has to be bigger than your concluding sentence, okay? So now we have linked these two sentences together by saying, moreover, a gym in the office shows that the company cares, leading to a reduction in sick days and healthcare costs. I want to elaborate a little more. Cares about what? It feels a little incomplete. Cares about its employees, leading to a reduction in the overall costs and so on. So this is now a complete explanation. Let's continue. Consequently, healthy workers are more engaged, motivated, and able to handle work challenges. What do we think about this? It is good. It's actually good. But wait a second, Sean. You mentioned that we cannot do a list, and it is a list. More engaged, motivated, and able to handle work challenges. No, it's not. First of all, it's nice because you have one word, and then a phrase that defines what you're trying to say more. It's a range of expressions, and it's a part of the explanation because this is kind of completing the idea that we had here. This is a continuation of that explanation, nicely wrapped up with a concluding word, consequently. That shows that we're now jumping to a little bit more description, but also ending of that explanation. And it's not a list if it's 2 to 3 things that you are saying. That is completely okay to do. When you have something like that, or you have something longer, a list of things, especially finishing with etc., don't ever say etc. That's where the problem occurs. But if you have point number 1, point number 2, and point number 3, you're good. Now, overall also, it looks neat because I can understand that, okay, student, you did a topic sentence. Then you have 1 point, and then you have the other point. Perfect. It helps me understand the flow, and you have marks for structure. So one body should have just 1 to 2 points maximum. All right, that looks neat. Let's go to our body 2. First problem I notice is there's no connector. There's no opposition, well, contradictory word, I should say, because now we're going to talk about the other side, which is the restaurant. So we're going to talk about that option, but there's no nevertheless, however. On the other hand, conversely, major mistake. Between paragraphs, flow is important. So let's say what the sentence says. A restaurant offers convenience and social opportunities, but okay. Conversely, just put that, okay? And why conversely or on the other hand would be good words would be because conversely is a li, it is an adverb, it adds to the range of a vocab. The more li's you have, the better. And if you said on the other hand, that is a connector with more than one word. Why is that important? Well, you used moreover, which is a connector. You used it earlier. That had one word. Now, if your next connector is on the other hand, it's a phrase. As a phrase, you're using a connector, and with single words, you're using connectors too. The examiner says this person knows how to use connectors in multiple ways, and that gives you a range, which is good. Now, let's look at the entire paragraph because there are problems here. Conversely, a restaurant offers convenience and social opportunities, but doesn't provide the same health benefits. Employees can easily find places to eat outside the office. We have many restaurants, and that's why we don't need another one. I don't know the central point. I don't, because you got this problem here that, okay, you don't have benefits, which were, and by the way, convenience and social opportunities it didn't need to be mentioned because we're not really talking about the positives of the restaurant. You could have just said a restaurant is a great option, but we got some problems. Okay, let's say we are focused on those problems. Where are they? Nowhere. There's no health problems or health benefits that are missing. And then you have this sentence, employees can find other places to eat. That's one point that should be explained. And then you have this point, we have many restaurants and we don't need one. There's no central point. Task response is taking a major hit here, and it's not clear if you wanted to do 1 point or you wanted to do 3 points. It's really not clear. Then look at the body misbalance or disbalance, whatever you call it. You have a large amount of words here, but very few here. And the explanation, the way you have explained body 1 is great, but body 2 has no explanation. So the balance is out, and we need to fix it. Ideally, if you have 2 points in body 1, you need to have 2 points in body 2. But let's try to get rid of this point. This is one thing I absolutely hate, and this is one thing I see all the time. Why I hate it is because this makes you lose marks, because everybody says the same thing. We have many of this, so we don't need it. Be creative, guys. You have to use unique words, phrases, tone, adjectives, everything unique, and it should stand out from the rest. Your task response should not look like you just looked at a sample and copied that. It should have your original thoughts and ideas. So let's talk about the restaurant. I don't want to say offers convenience and social opportunities because we're not talking about positives here. I want to save my words. I'm just going to say conversely, a restaurant offers convenience, but it doesn't provide the same health benefits. Now I could make it better. I could say conversely, while a restaurant offers this, remove this and make it doesn't provide the same health benefits. Now what you've done is inserted while at the start, making this a complex sentence, because while it does this, it does not do this. Avoid contractions in CELPIP. There is a debate about this, and because it's risky, it's better just not to do it. Just avoid it. I would say does not provide the same health benefits. Now I'm going to elaborate on that because that is a point I have written, so you have to expand on it, not just ignore it and move to something else. Doesn't provide the same health benefits. In fact, restaurant food can be very greasy or full of fats, which just put a comma there. Full of fats, which makes it quite unsuitable for individuals. Okay, can you understand that my whole focus here is on health? Yes, because I talked about health benefits, which are missing, and I explained it how. I use a good connector, and there we go. Okay, now let's look at our next point. Is there a connector? No. So let's put a connector. You always need that between points. And this point itself is very hard to explain. I'm not even going to try to fix it, because if you have something like employees can easily find places to eat outside the office, it's just that's the point. How can I expand on that? There's no if, why, how, which is why I'm going to pick another point, which is easier to expand and explain. So I'm going to say, likewise, having a restaurant in the office might tempt people to finish work early or neglect work altogether, hoping to socialize in their restaurants. Semicolon, this will negatively affect the office atmosphere. There we go. Semicolons, I use them all the time. At least once you should try using them in your task too. It helps separate the ideas, and it's an advanced punctuation. And here you can see it helps me nicely do my conclusion, which is why I don't need a conclusion like this anymore. And it's even better because now I showed the examiner, look, if I wanted to do a conclusion with a separate sentence, I know how to do it. If I wanted to do it with a semicolon, I know how to do it. And that is showing a range of expressions which are going to give me marks. Now, can you tell that this sentence is focused on one main point? Absolutely. Likewise, having a restaurant in the office might tempt people to finish work early or neglect work altogether, hoping to socialize in the restaurants. Let's put a comma here to separate it. This will negatively affect the office environment. So I'm talking about how people will just ignore work. They will try to socialize in the restaurants, and that'll be more tempting than sitting in front of your laptop. There you go. So now we have balanced bodies as well. You got 2 points here, 2 points here, well explained, and with good connectors, good wordings, not a huge list, and all the essentials that are going to give you a CLB 10 or more. If you want to really learn how to write like this and how to correct your mistakes, check out our CELPIP self-paced course in the description, down below also in the shop icon. This course guarantees you write like this, you score a 10 plus, and if you don't, we refund all your money back. So check it out. It also comes with our templates, which are extremely useful to scoring a 10 or higher, and it includes all modules, plus mock tests, plus a free assessment, and a lot more. Check out the complete detail in the description. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll talk soon. Take care.